What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. President Biden says prices are too high as inflation is, ridiculously too high. Listen to what he has to say.
Today I'm here to talk about what my introducer talked about lowering drug costs, lowering costs for Americans across the country. And I know it's been a rough 4 or 5 years in this country for an awful lot of people. We've made a lot of progress, but folks are still struggling. We can't kid ourselves about that. I wrote a thing called the Inflation Reduction Act, one of the most significant laws in history when it comes to helping families pay their bills at the end of the month. And we talk about a little bit about prescription drugs today because today is an important day for those on Medicare. We pay more for our prescription drugs than any other nation in the world. And by the way, it's the same exact drug, not just a drug, but the same manufacturer. We pay considerably more than they do in France, Canada, Spain, anywhere around the world. I know the names of these pieces of legislation are just boring, but the Inflation Reduction Act caps the cost of insulin for seniors on Medicare at $35 per prescription instead of $400 per prescription. $400. You know how much it costs? You know how much it costs them to make that drug? $15 to make it and package it. $35 is a lot of money compared to $15. They're going to make a good profit. We're going to keep fighting for lower costs for cost of living of insulin for children and families as well. Because of the Inflation Reduction Act, seniors in Medicare Part D are also going to be able to get their recommended vaccines like shingles vaccines and vaccines without any copays. And they've been paying an average of $100 to $200 a month for the shots. Nothing. Zero. You're not going to pay anything for those needed vaccines. And starting this week, it's a big deal. We're making hearing aids more affordable. We're also making them available over the counter so people don't have to pay the expensive visit to a specialist. Over the last few years, we've faced some of those difficult challenges in our history, both domestically and in foreign policy. And we're making real progress, helping folks just get a little more breathing room. Despite the opposition from the most powerful special interests, we're lowering health care costs. We're strengthening Medicare. We're fighting for folks who need our help. And one of the reasons why it's so important to America's future, we just have to remember. We have to remember who in God's name we are. This is the United States of America. No, think about it. And I've never been more optimistic in my life.
President Biden also says there's going to be new action on U.S. gasoline prices coming this week. Yeah, this is as gas prices have been rising across the country as OPEC and OPEC Plus announced about 12 days ago that OPEC Plus, the plus includes Russia, OPEC Plus countries, that they were going to cut production by 2 million barrels per day so that the price of oil would go up. And the US and the rest of the world not happy with this, but Saudi Arabia and Russia and OPEC nations and OPEC Plus nations did this so that they could line their pockets and oil companies could line their pockets, and us and consumers all around the world would pay more money for oil and gas. This just shows you they don't care. They care about themselves. A sad, sad story. President Biden again criticized high U.S. gasoline prices and said he would announce new actions this week to combat what he describes as a key driver of inflation. He says, quote, "The price of gas is still too high, and we need to keep working to bring it down," Biden said at an event in Los Angeles. I'll have more to say about that this week now. White House officials declined to comment on what steps Biden might take. The president vowed, quote, consequences for Saudi Arabia over the OPEC Plus move in a CNN interview earlier this week. He said the administration is reviewing its options, but declined to specify what options are under consideration or how long the review process would take. And the White House says that the Saudis, quote, coerced the rest of OPEC and OPEC Plus nations to cut productions to make the oil prices go higher. Yikes. And the White House has asked Saudi Arabia and OPEC to delay their production cut till December, which, well, you can let me know if you think that's going to happen, but doesn't look like it. Meanwhile, this is coming as U.S. gas prices are coming down a little bit, especially in some areas. This is why OPEC and OPEC Plus wants to raise gas or oil prices because they want to get more money. So you can see here the national average gas prices here. A week ago was $3.92 as it had started to go back up. Now it's $3.87. So gas prices on a national average have come down about 5 cents in the last week. But you can see here over the last month, they've gone up 20 cents. So $3.67 a month ago, now they're $3.87. So they've come down 5 cents in the last week, but over the last month, they've gone up 20 cents. Yeah. So, and yeah, just OPEC and OPEC Plus, Saudi Arabia, Russia, they want oil and gas prices to be even higher so they can make more money off you and me. And remember that California has had a massive spike here in gas prices. They went up over $1 to $1.50 over a 30-day period here just recently. Of course, the gas companies say it was refinery maintenance. Prices are starting to come down here after they gouged the ever-loving out of everybody. But here's California gas prices. They've come down 28 cents now in a week after California Governor Gavin Newsom has actually called for a meeting to put a windfall tax on the excess profits of the oil companies. And they're going to have a meeting on this in December. So they could actually do this. Remember that the United Kingdom did pass a law to do this. It's official that United Kingdom has actually done this. And the record oil profits of the United Kingdom over and above the exorbitant profits, the United Kingdom actually passed this. And they actually give a rebate back to the people, especially low and middle income people, to pay for gas, energy, and electric and utility bills. So don't think that the U.S. can't do this. So this is maybe why they started to lower gas prices in California. So don't think that this stuff doesn't have a cause and effect, because the United Kingdom actually did this. Here it is. Here's the article. This was back in July. So don't think that these gas companies the oil company and gas companies don't get away with stuff. So now mysteriously, since California Governor Gavin Newsom called for an actual hearing on this in December, mysteriously in California, the gas prices started to go down mysteriously after he announced this. They've gone down 28 cents here just in the last week alone, but the damage has already been done. They're still up from a month ago, up 56 cents, and even more so because from a year ago, they're still up $1. Like I said, they went up about $1 to $1.50 in just a month. So yeah, they really just gouging us, these gas companies, right? Unbelievable. And the U.S. could sell more oil from their emergency reserves this week. A little bit of a controversial move because we're getting pretty low on this. Some people credit this for the gas falling for 100 days in a row. You can see here from the New York Times, U.S. gas prices end a streak of declines for just short of 100 days. I think it was like 99 days here. But then started to go back up, partially because of OPEC Plus decision to cut oil by 2 million barrels a day, which affects oil prices all around the world. It instantly started shooting oil prices up. I don't know. Was that part of the strategic oil reserves by the U.S. and Biden and other countries did it as well in concert there? It's hard to really tell, right? You can see here the oil market is worried Biden could release another 100 million barrels of crude from strategic reserves. This alone sent the price of oil down. And this is exactly how stock markets work too. Just on anticipation of things sends markets up and down. Remember that the Russia war, just the buildup of it, just when Russia was putting the troops on the border before they actually attack, sent the price of oil skyrocketing. And well, they ended up being right on that because look at what happened with oil and Russia not sending oil to all of Europe now. They ended up being right on that because it's caused a major supply chain constraint for oil and gas to the whole world. So they ended up being right on that whole situation. So this whole move by Biden has actually temporarily caused the price of oil to go down, and ironically, we're seeing prices of gas go down temporarily as well. But whether or not he'll actually release another 100 million barrels of crude reserves, we will have to see. Now, the thing about this is that eventually we're going to have to fill the strategic oils back up. You would want to do this when the price of oil is low. Question is, will the price of oil ever get low ever again? As these oil companies are literally doing, and the oil nations are literally doing everything they can to prevent it from ever getting low again. So it's really it's a tough battle. It's like you're battling against in Star Wars you're battling against Darth Vader and the bad guys there, right? It's just it's tough because they're literally just trying to they're not happy with their hundreds of billions of dollars. They want hundreds of billions of dollars times two. And the problem is that this affects the price of food. This affects the price of everybody has to drive. And I hate that electric vehicles kind of get a bad rap. But this is why people are switching to electric because it's just a lot cheaper. Um, and at least to fill your tank. And the other thing is, that unfortunately the electric vehicles that came out at first were more expensive, but now they have electric vehicles coming out here already that are the same price. And I'll show you here. They have already Chevy, and they're starting to make even more and more of these. The Chevy Bolt with a B, not the Chevy Volt with a V, but the Chevy Bolt. Um, Starts at $26,000, and you can lease them. I think I've seen for like $299 a month. And it's an SUV here. It's a mid-size SUV with a range of 250 miles, and the Nissan Leaf, another small SUV here. So with the federal tax credit here, so they're already starting to make these cheaper electric vehicles here. You know, And again, there's a lot of misconceptions. I don't have an electric vehicle yet, at least. I don't know, maybe sometime in the future. But the other thing about this here is, a lot of misconception. People saying that, oh, the batteries cost $30,000, which is obviously not the case. If the whole car costs $26,000, There's no way that the batteries cost $30,000. There's just so many, conspiracy theories and people just with misinformation here. If the whole car costs $26,000, there's no way that the batteries cost $30,000. Also, all of these cars are mandatory by law to have an 8-year, 100,000-mile warranty on the batteries. That's the minimum warranty on the batteries. So there's just so many people that just are kind of like throwing out so much misinformation on these things. But I get it. I get it. If you don't want an electric vehicle, don't buy it. I get it. Um, it's no skin off my back or anybody else's back. I don't have an electric vehicle. Don't worry. But the thing is that they're way cheaper to charge. It just is. So I mean, honestly, if you spend like $2,000 a year in gas, which would be I don't know, what is that, $50 a week or something like that. I'm not even trying to do the math right now, but it's like half or less to charge an electric vehicle, and it's actually you just charge it at your home 99% of the time. The only time you need to charge it out on the road is if you're doing a long road trip. It's because you just charge it at home. You just plug it in at home. So you don't even need to go to a gas station or to a charging station. And when you do go to a charging station, these things charge in like 15, 20 minutes. So again, the misconceptions out there are crazy that, oh, you got to go and charge at a charging station for hours is not the case. They're fast chargers. I don't know. It's just the misconceptions out there are crazy. I'm sure that when people switch from a horse and buggy to regular cars, probably thought the same thing, right? I get it. But I mean, think about like the Prius. The Toyota Priuses. Those things have been around forever. They're hybrids. But again, those things have been around forever, and they're as reliable as they get. You know. But again, if you don't want an electric vehicle, don't buy one. It's not hurting nobody. If you want a gas vehicle, stick with gas. But the problem with gas is it's getting more and more and more expensive. I mean, $5 a gallon gas is becoming more and more common, and these gas companies are literally out to get you. They're just trying to charge you, just like the pharmaceutical companies. They're not your friends. They're just trying to charge you as much as possible. And if you're in California, that's the reason why California has over 1 million electric vehicles, because they're tired of paying $6 or $7 $6 or $7 a gallon gasoline, and they've just realized that to plug in your car is way cheaper. Now they do need to upgrade the grid pretty much everywhere, and they're doing this. I remember reporting on a story recently that said that California is already doing this. Um, they're putting solar over their waterways. They can power 10 million homes in California alone, which is like 3/4 of the population in California, just with the solar over their canals, just by solar power. So that alone can cover like the majority of the power needs. Um, So, yeah, think about that. So this can cover almost the entire population of California just with solar, and just with solar over the waterways alone. So all they need to do is actually do it. Remember, California's got $97 billion of surplus money. So literally, they just have to do it. Same thing with Texas. Texas needs to upgrade their grid. Really, we need grid upgrades everywhere. And we don't need to do it with gas, because gas is way too expensive. And then you have to constantly dig it out of the ground. Yeah. So, and really, we didn't even talk about pollution. We're just talking about the price, right? You're going to find out this winter when you go to heat your home. If you're in a state that needs to heat your home, how expensive it's going to be. It's unbelievably expensive, and this is going on all around the world. Home heating, 3 times as much as it was just like, what was it, like a year ago or so? Unbelievable. So, Yeah, and I'll link you to a video here where you can get how to find out how to get utility assistance, because there is I have a video showing you how to get it. Part of my mission on this channel is to show everybody how to get as much help that is out there as possible. So I'll link you to a video here on how to do that. So make sure to click the subscribe button down below so you don't miss out on new videos here on our YouTube channel. And I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here on a daily basis. So click the subscribe button, then the bell icon. It's completely free. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here is my newest video about checks that are going out to millions of Americans that you might not even know about. And here is my video about how to apply for utility assistance. It's in each state, and here's how to find it in your area. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.